I want to introduce to you our women of the hour. They are the most amazing hustlers in town. They made most of this event actually happen for us. They made it so easy. They are amazing with cocktails, and they got a brand new book coming out. Hell yeah. All right. They're amazing. Please welcome the Cocktail Bandits.
I'm Johnny Caldwell.
And I'm Tanika Reeves.
And we are the Cocktail Bandits.
The curly ladies who talk cocktails daily. That never gets old. So thank you guys for coming out early this morning. We are so thankful to have so many smiling, creative faces to, you know, support us in our speech. We really want to thank Charleston Distilling because this really is our vibe, being behind the bar and just kicking it with our people. So thank you guys. Creative Mornings approached us to talk about the theme of context, and we were really excited to talk about it. The first thing we're going to talk about is the definition. Context, the circumstances that form the setting for an event, statement, or idea, and in terms of which it can be fully addressed. Just like Ivan said, context is the beginnings of our perfect story. We never had any plans to become cocktail bandits at all, not even cocktail bloggers or anything like that. It was a series of events that happened that pushed us into this point. Johnny and I met over a decade ago at the College of Charleston, and the College of Charleston is only 6% minority. That's all the minorities put together, and that was when we were in school. Now it's less than that. Outside of campus, you see people of color, but there weren't many businesses. You didn't see a lot of businesses on King Street or around. There were a few, but now they're even less. We go to the bars and the restaurants, and we didn't see any people of color behind the bar or serving or even hostessing. It was always just us. Now there may be 2 restaurants downtown that are even Black owned. There was a void. There was a voice that was missing, and we wanted to fill that. We realized in Charleston that we were not present in the conversation of food and bev. No one was talking about bartenders or bar culture from our perspective, here, nationally, or even internationally. There's this guy named Tipsy Bartender, if anyone knows online, but he just talks about basic cocktails. He wasn't really talking about it on an elevated level. We love the bar and everything about it, and we wanted to create an industry and a group of people of like minds that enjoy the same thing.
All right. So one of our favorite aspects of being in the bar is the ambiance. You base your destination on what kind of mood you're in. You ask yourself, do I feel like fine dining, or do I feel like a more casual dive bar type of feel? This place has a live band. This place is bringing in a special DJ. The tone and mood of the location really sets up the entire culinary experience. And owners know this. They spend a lot of time decorating their venues, bringing in art, furniture, tables, lighting concepts, all this before even a cocktail has been crafted or a menu item has been selected. It's so crucial to set up that mood if you're gonna sell whatever product or service that you have. I mean, a carefully crafted environment can mean a difference between a $7 drink and a $17 cocktail.
Creating a setting and a mood is very important. It was essential in how we began and conduct our business. We wanted to create a setting to be able to tell our point of view and our story. There was no voice for the black female drinker in mainstream media or social media. And it's never been catered to, our demographic has never been catered to at all. There are, however, some horrible stereotypes about black folks in hospitality and tourism. Stereotypes like hospitality and tourism is only for middle-aged white folks, that black people only like Henny or Crown. And don't get me wrong, I like my Hennessy, but it's not the only thing I like. That black people are uneducated about beer, wine, and spirits. And the biggest stereotype that annoys us is black women are aggressive and confrontational. That really grinds our gears because that's definitely not us. We love a good bar, we love a good cocktail, and we love great conversation.
Our second favorite thing about being in the bar is the environment. The freedom to be politically incorrect, to push the boundaries of social norms. In our book coming out in January 2018, Holy Spirits, that's right, we call this bartender client privilege. With each drink, bar patrons get more and more comfortable, and they bear more and more of their heart and their soul to the person behind the bar serving them drinks. They are soothed by the mellow music playing in the background and the subtle candlelight being lit throughout the space. It really creates a really fun, sexy mood. I mean, it's the only place where someone can offer you a sex on the beach, meaning, oh, where did it go? Oh, go back. Meaning that and not this. Sorry about that. So let's go back, hold up. So does anybody actually know, can I get a show of hands if anyone, my mom told me about this. So don't leave it on the sex screen. Let me get a show of hands of anybody that knows the ingredients to a sex on the beach. I have a prize for you. I showed it up there for a quick second. Does anybody know? Anyone want to guess? Raise your hand so I can give you a prize. Right here in the front. Stand up. Stand up.
Orange juice, cranberry, and
say it again. You said vodka, orange juice. Peach schnapps is the other ingredient, but we're going to give her a prize anyway. What's your name? Jenny? Jennifer. Awesome prize. Thanks for participating in our game. There are more, as you see, so pay attention. All right, but more seriously, though, every person in Charleston can remember exactly where they were at the moment of the Mother Emanuel massacre. Tanika and I were less than a mile away in a team meeting when we heard about the news. And we were disturbed, we were grief-stricken. And we looked for a place where we could find comfort and solace. And we went to a nearby restaurant. And we were welcomed with so many people who were also grieving, who were also sharing in that communal loss. There was no shame, there was no judgment, it was just love. It was great.
It was great. And even in that space, the event raised a lot of money and it was able to donate to the church. And we were there and people were, consoling us and sympathizing with us, but we were still the only people of color in the restaurant. It was hard to really convey how I felt, my emotions, because I felt like no one would really understand that. And the place was packed. We knew the owners and we knew the bartenders, but what about people who don't know the restaurateurs? What about people who aren't in the community like that? They had no safe space to go. I mean, could you imagine? Even before Mother Emanuel, it was challenging to find a safe space in Charleston just to go out, have drinks, and talk about things. About 5-6 years ago, there used to be a bar down here called Hugie's, 587 King Street, and it was a bar that was filled with mostly African Americans, but we would talk about community things in there, political things. It would be church members and, political officers and cops and chefs, and they would all come in and we would talk. And after that place closed, we really didn't have a space downtown for that kind of commiseration. We took it upon ourselves to go out to places and create our own safe space. We got to meet people, we got to let them know who we were, our vision, and so we created our space for us. Our friends would see our pictures and they were like, we didn't know that black people went there. We're like, you're welcomed. Go check it out. They would even DM us and let us know about their experiences. There's this organization called the Bar Institute that talks about different bartenders and relations around the country, and they came to Charleston. And they emailed us and they asked us, was there a space for people of color or women to go if they feel like they've been disenfranchised or disrespected at work? We couldn't think of a space. We couldn't find a space. We Googled, we really didn't find a space. So now it's become one of our main missions to create a safe space for people of color in food and bev to be able to talk about issues that they're going through.
So you can only imagine when we decided to fully commit to this cocktail bandit thing that it wasn't received as warmly as we would like. Tanika and I both grew up in South Carolina, and we were raised to be proper Southern ladies. So we were never told to take pictures with a drink in our hands and to never actually be sipping a cocktail in a photo. So needless to say, our family was more confused than supportive. We got a lot of questions like, so you're just gonna get drunk for a living? And is there even a market for two black girls running around drinking cocktails? And we were hearing this in meetings and consultations, even at family gatherings. So while this was discouraging, it was also motivating because we decided we were gonna create a method for us to share our love for craft spirits in an educating, entertaining, and empowering way. We studied everything possible to gain knowledge on beverages. We watched hours of YouTube videos, read countless recipe books. We bothered every bartender that we knew. We really just wanted to learn everything. So finding a mentor in the industry just seemed to be very difficult for us, as everyone in the industry were complexed by what we were trying to do. They would ask, so where do you bartend? Or where'd you get your training? And we would say, oh, well, we don't really work in a bar per se. We have a cocktail blog where we share a feminine urban perspective to the spirits market, you know? Do you have an Instagram? I can show you better than I can tell you. You could tell we were not very secure in our idea, but we knew it was special, we knew it was important, so we had to figure out a way to spread it to the world. So we investigated everything that had to do with beverages, from teas to tequilas, from coffee to cachaça, like everything, from glassware to garnishes. We wanted to know about every aspect that makes your leisure experience enjoyable. We had to be more than just party girls, more than just bloggers or mixologists. We had to be more. We realized how important our voice was in the community, so we decided to only share positive press, never just posting images for clickbait or just for payment.
And like Johnny stated, we really had to be more. I mean, there was no other women that were doing what we were doing, so we had to cover all the bases. And more is good. I mean, more cocktails, more restaurants. It kept us on our toes. We began to do more mixology classes, interviews, tours, seminars, and speaking engagements. Being able to post all of our pictures on social media is what changed the game for us. Without social media, there would be no Cocktail Bandits. So I want to talk a little bit about the context of social media. Of course, you know, Facebook started in 2004. Me and Johnny were babies. We were freshmen in college. She's got on in 2004, I got on in 2005, and it was just like a whole new world. You can see what people were doing in other colleges. It was just like a new thing, and our parents were like, what, that's some college stuff or whatever y'all are doing. And now my mother and my grandmother are on Facebook. In 2010, we got on Twitter. Twitter was mostly used for like our rants and just talking junk to our other Twitter friends. It was like a safe, closed space for young people to talk about things, but it kind of dwindled down a little bit for us. YouTube was a thing that really inspired us. We saw a lot of girls on YouTube talking about their natural hair, which inspired us to go back natural. We saw these ladies create brands from being a novice to an expert by just showing people, documenting how they took care of their hair. It inspired us. These ladies built brands. They are on tours now. They have over 1 million followers, and it was all because they taught themselves and the world about hair. We wanted to do that, but we didn't want to do hair or any of that stuff. We didn't see any women of color talking about beverages on social media or mainstream. We would see them talking about fitness and fashion and makeup, food and stuff, but not drinks. I'll even be comfortable enough to say that we're probably some of the first women of color to actually post and talk about cocktails on an elevated level. We knew we had something, and social media allowed us to get it for free. When we got on Instagram in 2012, we just posted cocktails and hashtagged everything. Our followers grew so much. We had 15,000 followers in the first year because the images weren't there. This movement was happening all over the world. Two of the biggest Black travel and leisure blogs in the world, Travel Noir and Tastemakers, were both founded by women of color who yearned for more diversity of Black female images in the media. We all saw this Black girl magic, and we approve.
So life doesn't get any easier, you get better. And in a weird way, we appreciate all the naysayers, all the statements of opposition, because it made us better. We had to create new, more creative, more innovative, and interactive ways to experience beverages. Now we're able to deliver our love for craft spirits, and it can sometimes be unsavory in a very light and refreshing and informed way.
Yes, and never underestimate the power of social media. It allows us to get our context out, our perspectives out, our voice. With the internet, you can make a movement in Lagos, Nigeria, Los Angeles, California, or even Charleston, South Carolina. Be what you want to see, because you never know who's watching and wants to be that with you.
And the next time someone comes to you with a kind of funky idea like Bitcoin or Facebook or cocktail bandits, take a minute to think about the possibilities. Is there a market for this? Or even better, can we create one? And the next time you're in a bar and someone says, one Harvey Wallbanger coming at you, expect this and not this creeper. All right, another question. Does anybody know the ingredients to a Harvey Wallbanger? Let me see a show of hands. No food and bev folks in here? No bartenders? Anybody want to guess? There's a prize. It's alcoholic. Stand up. Okay. Yes. Yes, good guess. You want to say ice too? Ice? Yes. Yes, orange rinds. Vodka, yes. One more ingredient. Maybe. I'm going to give it to you. It's Galliano is the other ingredient inside this Italian liqueur. That's right. And has everyone had our mocktail this morning? If you haven't, please go grab it over there. It has a mixture of apple cider, apple juice, lemon juice, cranberry juice, honey, ginger, and also this amazing local soda called Hooch. We love Hooch so much. Is the label showing? It adds like a lemon lime bubble action to the cocktail.
Yes, it's called Season's Greetings. And we just want to thank you guys again. We want to thank Charleston Distilling, Hamby, Creative Mornings, and all of you for coming out and supporting us. We are going to open the floor for questions.
What was the moment when you guys felt like what you were doing was becoming more than just like something that you were passionate about and actually like a way to make a living?
I think for me, the moment was when Matt and Ted Lee invited us to Atlanta Food and Wine to do a cocktail with them. We were like so stoked. So we went there, we did a cocktail with all local ingredients from Charleston, and we garnished it with a palmetto rose. It's like our flagship cocktail right now, and I think that was when we felt that we were moving.
That was special. It was. But sometimes you can feel like you're so much in it, it doesn't really feel like, oh, I'm not making any progress, I need to do more, I need to do more. We did a video this summer with Andrew Zimmer from Bizarre Foods with Renaissance Hotel, and it was just, we spent the whole day with him talking, drinking, eating, and that video got over 500,000 views on Instagram. That's when it was like, okay, we're reaching a whole different audience. We're like tapping into different people in Dubai, and people are seeing us from an expert level, not just like bloggers. We're on the level of people who are established in the community. So that was kind of like, all right, this is the real deal. And they reached out to us. So that was awesome. Yes. Yes, that's a great question. We have seen changes in Charleston. There are more. Pardon? Okay, she asked if we've seen any changes in Charleston since we started blogging. And we have. There have been changes in the bloggers community. Before we started this 4 years ago this month, there were very few bloggers, very few food bloggers, and there were no drink bloggers. And now there's a huge community, maybe upwards of 20 different bloggers in Charleston that cover all different topics. And you can see more people of color doing hosting jobs, bartending, managing restaurants, front of house.
I think with me, the festival circuit kind of changed up. We were, in the beginning with Wine and Food, we were the first and the only like cocktail bloggers there. Now we have a street team. So now it's like 6 or 7 of us that have a group, and then we all go and do that for Wine and Food. So the level of people that are doing the cocktail blogging coverage has grown. So it's good for us. It's fun. Any other questions?
For each of you, what is your favorite cocktail?
My favorite spirit is tequila. So anything with tequila, yes, it's my favorite.
Yes, tequila is good. Tequila's good. Cocktails are hard. We typically sip tequila all day in our office when we're working, and that keeps. It is research. We've had over 300 different tequilas in our business, and it also helps keep away the calories because there's no sugar being added with juice. There's no salt you're fussing with, no lemon. We just sip on that like real. Yeah, no hangover either. So, oh man. Well. Right now, Patron actually flew us out to their distillery to go visit their location for 3 days. I know, right? So I hate to have that be the reason why we like them, but it's good. It's good juice, and it was a great experience.
And they have more than just the basic ones they sell in the store. They have like really elevated aged tequilas like at the distillery, so it was a different experience. Well, of course we had to drink, y'all. We had to taste this. We had to taste the products, but we are covering all of Charleston's culture. Like we have some history in there. We have some things that are going on now, what we want to see in the future. But I really am excited about how we covered all of the distilleries. We didn't do all the breweries because there's like 31 breweries now in Charleston. It's insane. But we did the oldest breweries, and then we did all of the mixers, sodas, non-alcoholic products in Charleston as well. Most of our recipes are made with all local product. We interviewed some bartenders and included their recipes, and some chefs in Charleston. So we tried to keep it as broad and open, and it's called Holy Spirits. So it's the holy city and how we love our spirits and we love to drink.
What I liked about the research process is we learned so many different stories about Charleston that are linked to food and bev that aren't really told. So we would get this new topic and we'd be like, oh, this deserves its own book. Like this needs its own type of devotion and research to this one subject. So I think that I'm excited about the possibility to tell more stories about Charleston food culture, to spread our love, not just in the Southeast, but throughout the whole world, because Charleston is so special and it was so crucial to development of this country, and we talk about that a little bit in our book. So please, again, January 2018, Holy Spirits. Pardon? Our book is for the home bartender, someone who's looking to get into bartending. That's why we try to push some drink knowledge, because we saw that mostly women were not educated on what is a bourbon, what is a whiskey, what is in a Manhattan, what is in a Cosmo. They don't even know what they're drinking. So we want to educate. We have some stuff like that. So if you're getting into building your own home bar, we have steps on how you can build that, some key ingredients that you want to put on that bar. We also have this book for the history aspect, people who want to know about more of our Southern foodways and how specifically when Charleston was first founded, how rum from Barbados and sugar really kept the economy going when it was getting established. So it's for people who want to know more about us, because we have some stories about how we got together in there too. I want to say everyone, it's the coffee table style book, so plenty of pictures, 208 pages of words and beautiful cocktails and Charleston scenery. So it's very light. We just kind of touch on some of the heavier topics.
One more thing on that. The most fascinating thing about the book for me was realizing that in our beer culture and our spirits culture, a lot of the people that were cultivating that product was enslaved Africans. So there's no names. I couldn't find any names or pictures or images of them, but I know that, this has been in our culture. This is what we're about. So it's also bringing awareness to people of color that, hey, there's a space for you in here as well. So, any more questions? Yes, in the back? Another shot of tequila. I'm kidding. No, I like to drink juices and water in the morning, and I run. I like to just sweat that booze out. So yeah, I know, I do it.
Drink a lot of water. Like, if we're not drinking water or alcohol, we're like Jesus. It's either alcohol or it's water. So keep that going. And that'll keep you good too. Like, don't do a lot of mixing. The best thing is to prevent the hangover so you don't have to cure it. We drink too much to be dealing with hangovers the next day, girl. You got to keep it going. Is there anything else you wanted to talk about?
Any more questions?
I have 2 questions.
Yes.
What's next on the horizon for you guys? What are you looking to do next? And do y'all ever host local, just casual tastings or anything?
Yes, we do. To the second question, we do host tasting. We just had a tasting on Tuesday at West Elm. We did a cocktail class and a whiskey tasting. We had about 12 people there. It was really small, intimate, and they got to get some hand-on experience actually making a cocktail and actually tasting it straight. And what's next?
Video. We don't really do a lot of video right now. We're not really showing our personalities. We have pictures and things like that, but videoing and kind of doing interviews with different producers and distillers, brewers, and things like that, just so we can get more in depth and people can see more of our personality. Oh, thank you for saying that, Donna. Our next cocktail tasting is on Tuesday. It's going to be at Seoul. We're doing a tequila mixology class there. So we're going to be talking about Milagro tequila, and then we're going to be making some fun margaritas with it as well. So that's happening on Tuesday. Yep, right here, over here on Meeting Street. 6 o'clock.
Thank you for asking that, CT. She's looking beautiful in the audience today. We are available for private catering gigs. We're very selective about what we take on, but we like to do local events that get us into the community and to do different audiences. But we just kind of go back and forth with the event idea. We help source ingredients like we did today. We can help even with securing venues if you would like, entertainment. We're a full service event and PR type of brand. And then was there another part of your question? Our cards are throughout, so if you want to get a card, please see us. Please see Donna, who's been helping us hand out these gifts. She's my mama, and she helps us out with the business tremendously.
And we're not opposed to coffee or little cocktail dates either to discuss business. That's where we like to meet. So, any more questions? Just thank y'all. Thank y'all. We haven't really spoken all year because we've been getting this book done, so it's been insane. So thank you guys for allowing us to come and share a little bit of our story with you guys.
Thank you guys again. See us on social media at Cocktail Bandits.
Thank you, Cocktail Bandits. And thank you all for being here. You guys have a wonderful morning.